Won't it be Ryan the Great? And today, we're going to this top 5 for you. We got top 5 teams in the NFL after week 17 of the 2024-2025 NFL season. This is my first video of the new year, so happy new year to everybody watching wherever you are. And yeah, so I'm filming this on New Year's. This is always a quick little video, so I don't mind taking the time out to do that. I'm currently peeking over at the Texas and Arizona State game, and apparently the Notre Dame game has been canceled, so I guess by the time people will be watching this video, we'll know what's going on. But yeah, so apparently that game's going to get canceled and postponed till tomorrow, which is Thursday, so that's going to be an interesting one, so we'll have to see what happens there. What else? The announcements. Prep basketball is on Friday. I will be there. I will probably be on the air in some capacity, so make sure you guys go check that out, WSJP on YouTube. And a big announcement coming tomorrow, actually. We will be announcing something new that I've been thinking about for a little bit. I talked about it a little bit on Sorgi Stories live stream yesterday when we were live for the second half of Penn State versus Boise State. So yeah, big announcement coming tomorrow, and I'll update you guys about that when the video comes out. So let's just get right into this video. But before we get right into this one, guys, make sure you guys subscribe with the post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother Linda Gray Blogs. Make sure you guys subscribe to my second channel at Around the Cog Great. Make sure you guys go follow me on X Around the Go RTG. Make sure you guys go follow me on TikTok at Around the Go RTG. Make sure you guys go listen to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast, and make sure you guys go follow me on Twitch at Around the Great Podcast. I'm not for you, ladies and gentlemen. So in the video, let's roll that intro. Hey, come on, starting. Stop! 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 Red flag! First pitch! Bring him in! Yeah! Oh, damn. All right, let's go in the video. So starting off at number 5, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Why? Well, they absolutely dominated the Pittsburgh Steelers throughout the entire game. They made the Steelers give up, even though there was a slim chance of them coming back. Very, very slim once again, but, they had a little bit of a chance. But regardless, they dominated the Pittsburgh Steelers by 19 points. You held Russell Wilson, George Pickens, Najee Harris to 10 points. So you're looking really, really good right there. Offensively, you're starting to look a little bit better. Mahomes threw 38 times, but still threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Kareem Hunt found the end zone. The run game has looked absolutely abysmal for Kansas City over the last couple of weeks. Only 3.5 yards a carry as a team in this one. But, the pass game is really... the pass game and the defense is really what keeps this team together. And you're looking at Travis Kelce, a great game for him, 84 yards and a touchdown. You're looking at Worthy, a touchdown, Watson, a touchdown, Hollywood Brown getting his way back in there, 46 yards for him. The pass game looking better over the last couple of weeks in the Chiefs. While they have looked better and while they're winning games in more convincing fashion over the last couple of weeks, especially in a playoff contender like Pittsburgh, though they are on a little bit of a decline at the current moment in time, there are just better teams right now in the NFL, and one of those better teams is at number 4, which is the Minnesota Vikings. Why? Well, the Minnesota Vikings, they just keep on winning football games, and they just beat the Green Bay Packers. Now, while over the last 2 weeks against the Seahawks, who are not in the playoffs as we currently speak, and they won't be in the playoffs this season, they had a close win against them, but, you go into the... You go into Sunday, you've had the Green Bay Packers. There are some people there saying that, the Packers could win this game, and the Packers could possibly, sneak in to a better seeding, or stay in their better seeding as a 6th seed instead of moving down to the 7th seed, being the Minnesota Vikings in this one. But the Vikings, they were in control for most of the game, and then they let the Packers right back into it. But great teams always find a way to finish games, and the Minnesota Vikings did just that. You held the Green Bay Packers offense, who looks really, really good, to 25 points. I mean, you held Jordan Love to 185 passing yards. Sam Darnold, while he did throw 43 times, did throw for 377 yards and a touchdown. Not the greatest game for Aaron Jones, but you look at Justin Jefferson, 92 yards. Naylor looking pretty good. Addison has been stepping up over the last couple of weeks, and 69 yards and a touchdown for him. Hawkinson, probably one of his best games yet. 68 yards for him. So the Minnesota Vikings looking really, really good at the current moment in time, and we'll see if they move up on the list if they beat the next team, which is number 3, and that's the Detroit Lions. Why? Well, I don't like the Detroit Lions defense because they gave up 34 points to a San Francisco team that just can't seem to move the ball at all. You saw them against the Buffalo Bills, and you've been seeing them over the last couple of weeks. Y'all, they only put up 19 against the Dolphins, only 6 against the Rams. You put up 38 on the Bears, but that's the Bears, and then you only put up 10 against the Bills. So this is an offense that really does not put up that many points, but you put up 34 against the Lions, and that is a bit of a concern. Now, while they do have injuries, those injuries are going to be lasting for the season, so you got to go with what you have. And I'm not sure if the Lions are going to be too sustainable with that. But nonetheless, offense put up 40 points. You can't deny them. Jared Goff, 34 passes, throwing 303 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs looking great, even in the absence of David Montgomery, 117 yards on only 18 carries and a touchdown for him. Jameson Williams has been cooking over the last couple of weeks. Sam Laporta finally getting into his late season stretch, I guess you could say, of great games. Amon-Ra St. Brown over 1,000 yards on the season for him. I feel like he's had a down year. I don't know. But nonetheless, 60 yards and a touchdown for him on 8 catches. So, you gave up 100 yards each to Pearsall and George Kittle. Your defense is not looking too good. You got a turnover in the game. You had 3 turnovers. Was it 3 turnovers or was it 2? It was 3 turnovers. Purdy threw 2 picks and there was a fumble. So, your defense, you got some turnovers, but you gave up 34 points to a team that has not looked like themselves over the last this season. And, based off what we've seen the last couple of years, the 49ers are just 49ers not really living up to expectations, and based off what they've done against other defenses that are top in the NFL, they have not been able to do much. So a bit of a concern for the Detroit Lions, but they did beat the Minnesota Vikings earlier in the season, so I'm going to give them that edge. And also, both were close games. While the Packers are better than the San Francisco 49ers, they obviously beat them. I'm going to take the Lions over the Vikings right now, just because the Lions did beat them earlier in the year. Now, number 2, the Philadelphia Eagles. Why? Well, the Eagles came into this game with a backup quarterback, and they even had to put in their 3rd string at one point. Now, while the game was over by then, you kind of see where I'm going with this. Pickett was coming in. There were people out there, and myself included, I thought the Eagles were going to play absolutely terrible, even with Pickett in the game. And he played great. He looked great in the pocket. He threw a touchdown pass. Obviously had that push touchdown as well. Saquon Barkley, he's not going to get the rushing record, as we know. Sirianni is sitting Barkley next week, so he will not get a chance to get the rushing record. I mean, honestly, I just want a championship, so at this point, it really doesn't matter that much to me. But, still had 176 yards on the ground, 167 yards on the ground. And then you're looking at Devontae Smith, 2 touchdowns for him and 120 yards receiving. A.J. Brown was double-teamed for most of the game, only 36 yards, but did have a touchdown. Calcaterra with a great catch as well. Defensively, they looked great. Obviously, for the first couple of drives, it was a bit shaky, but then they were able to figure it out. I didn't like their pass rush throughout the game, but, it is what it is. I'm sure they'll get that fixed. Secondary looked great. Mitchell, not the best game, but, pretty decent. So pretty decent for the Philadelphia Eagles. I got to put them at number 2. People are going to say, well, they had a backup quarterback, and the Cowboys obviously don't have their best guys in there. Well, the Eagles had a backup quarterback. I don't think anybody expected the Eagles to hold or to score 41 points, even against the Cowboys defense. That is not really what it once was. So right now, I'm going to put the Philadelphia Eagles at number 2. At number 1, it's pretty obvious again. You got to put the Buffalo Bills. They have just been absolutely dominant. They are just murdering teams. Their offenses look great. You only put up 24 against the Patriots, but you put up 48 against the Lions, while your defense over a 2-week span against the Rams and Lions gave up 40 points each. Your defense has looked better since, while being against the Patriots and the Jets. I still have some confidence that you will be able to turn that around in the postseason, because you're looking at that Kansas City game, and they only gave up 21 to an offense that has a lot of explosive weapons. So I think that the Buffalo Bills defense is just fine. I'm not going to look too much into it. They're not going to be facing they won't be facing that great of competition in the first round. You're looking at the conference. You're looking at it right now, and let's see. You possibly face the Bengals, the Dolphins. The Broncos. Those offenses are good. The Bengals offenses look really, really good. But obviously the Dolphins has not looked in sync. The Broncos offense is all right. So in the first round, I wouldn't look too much into it. But regardless, Buffalo Bills, number 1 team. Offense is looking great. Defense has looked a little bit better over the past couple of weeks. I'm going to put them at number 1. And so, yeah, that's the list. It is the Bills, the Eagles, the Lions, the Vikings, and the Chiefs. I really don't think you can put any other team on there. I can look at the standings really, really quick here. yeah, I mean, the Ravens, the Ravens, I don't think have lived up to expectations, even though, they slaughtered the Texans, but the Texans have not really lived up to expectations this year either. The Commanders, they obviously barely beat the Falcons, a rookie quarterback in overtime. The Packers lost. The Rams looking pretty decent, but, they beat the Arizona Cardinals by 4 points, so how much can you really say about that? And then there's really no other team you can even think of putting up there. Obviously, the Steelers lost, the Chargers, and, they're just not really, you can put any of those teams up there. But anyway, that's the list. That'll do it for this video, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother, Liam the Great Vlogs. Make sure to subscribe to my second channel at Ryan the Cog Great. Make sure you guys go follow me on X at Ryan the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go follow me on TikTok at Ryan the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go listen to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast. And make sure you guys go follow me on Twitch at Ryan the Great Podcast. And as always, Ryan the Great out. Peace.